What's the motherfucking deal, y'all? Give me a segundo here. I said we went cut off just a little bit, but welcome to Sauce Sports. If you're not familiar with Sauce Sports is a Houston, Texas homer network. So that means we're talking all sports, but only Houston. And even for you random ass Giant fans that pop in and say whatever you gotta say, that's just to inform y'all if y'all just catching this shit. But let me fix it while I'm straightening this out, y'all. Y'all give me just a second here. But again, we're gonna be talking tonight about, like I say, this game week. It's regular season time. We're gonna be talking about the Texans versus, the Patriots. I got a little burp just a little bit. I apologize for that. But and we're gonna talk about tonight what the Texans have to do to defeat the Patriots in Week 1. I'm looking all greasy and shiny and shit. It's all good though. That's just sauce dripping from my pores. Again, so like I said, we got the round table in the mix tonight. Maybe we're gonna see who we got in the round table, and then we're gonna talk about the most important topic in the city of Houston. So who we got with us live tonight?
You got your boy Hector Flores, the World Series champion, in the mix.
It's Toxic Cinny Tinny, baby, and I got the new mic here, so I know I heard the crackling.
You got your boy Wise working harder than your average national media outfit.
Oh yeah, man! It's your boy Third Coast Sports TV. How y'all living tonight in chat?
So, like I say, man, we got to get into the most important topic, though. The most important topic in the fucking city of Houston is you, Sauce Nation. You know, some of y'all might not even be in the city, but you know, we talking Houston. All sports, only Houston, but tonight we talking Texans. So, like I say, we're going to get to this roll call, man. We're going to see who we got with us tonight. And if you don't know about the roll call basically is if you are from the city, man, shout out your side with pride. If you're not from the city, then let us know what it's in a little bit of that digital love, and we're going to get it live and direct, you know, to your motherfucking YouTube screen. But like I said, I want to appreciate everybody again last night who was fucking with the flavor, man. That was like one of the longest flavors. Outside of it being a special event, like a draft or something like that, I think that was probably one of the longest sauces that we had. So definitely, and we will have, I'll put the number up for the sauce line. We won't be taking calls until a little bit later, though, but we'll have the number up. So if you want to text the sauce line, you can go ahead and, you know, text your thoughts to the sauce line, and we'll make sure we answer those and we get on those live and directly. But like I said, let's see who we got in the mix tonight. I see Mr. Asian Pikachu, my favorite of all the Pikachu. J-Pac, what's the motherfucking deal? Gaming with T Stoke, what's the motherfucking deal? David Pritchard, what's the deal? Adrian Clark, T Real, Balin Rios, the nigga who could, got the juice. T Mac, what's the motherfucking deal? Titans up, what's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. Balin Broderick, HTX Savage, B Shell, Frank Aldaco, Berkeley Boss, DeMarcus Johnson, what's the motherfucking deal? Mrs. Voodoo C, Mr. Voodoo C, the best moderating couple in the whole wide world. So I appreciate y'all holding it down every evening. Darren Williams, what's the motherfucking deal? 335, what's the motherfucking deal? Legendary Joe, Brian Cushion, what's the motherfucking deal? Talking about Belichick holding Honcho hostage for info on the Texans. He can't hold me back. These niggas can't hold me back. Let's see who we got. Make sure we got everybody. Make sure everybody gets your love. Your boy Anthony. Lord, I ain't finna say that. That's definitely Jay Bird, one of his additional names. I ain't even finna get into that one. The Cool Amber, Anthony Bailey, Cruzito 713, OG 77013, Leonard Avery, what's the motherfucking deal? Tourette's, Texas, Tomato Town, Texas. East Side, already. Federal Road, okay. Lil 300, what's the motherfucking deal? Man, I'm with you, Cool Amber. Sunday can't get here fast enough, man. SWAT in the house, okay. Spring, Texas in the house already. Panda Bear 9110, what's the motherfucking deal? Like I say, man, let me see. Look, I see Wise holding down in the chat and in the stream, doing double D. Said he working harder than your average national media. He ain't lying to you. He ain't lying. Let's see, Dark Galaxy. And Michael Briley, Houston in the house already. Torrance Jones, what's the motherfucking deal? Man, and here is, oh, there goes, goddamn it, it's Kenneth. Kenneth, you finished carrying backpacks and tying shoes? No, he ain't simping no more. He pimping now. He done got off that simp shit. You know what I'm saying? We training him, trying to get him right. But, man, let's get into it tonight, man. We got to talk about some things. We want to look at some matchups. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be more direct. We're going to talk about what it's going to take for the Texans. And we're going to kind of look at position groups in comparison, you know, the Patriots versus the Texans versus the Patriots. And we're we're going to look at certain position groups and try to see exactly what it is and where the Texans have advantages, where the Patriots have advantages, and, you know, what we can do to exploit those advantages, what we can do to kind of thrive and manipulate these situations with our leverage. So I saw somebody say already that they saw the video that I retweeted earlier. And that old bullshit ass drill, I don't know what the fuck they think that was. That was just some old just some old mental fuckery that they was out there trying. I don't know what they call that shit, because with no line, we're just gonna, that's like randomly chasing the nigga around the field. You might as well have got a motherfucking me. Oh shit. Look, the screen is swapped up on a nigga. Hold on. Let me see, look, let me change the look. Let me see where we at. Okay, a little bit. It's still doing what it do. We'll get it right. There we go. So my thing is this, man. Like I said, you might as well have had a random fucking fan. That's like a chasing a streaker or some shit. You know what I'm saying? It really don't matter. But I want to say, like I said, we're going to compare positions and kind of look at where the Texans have the strength, where the Patriots have the leverage, and, you know, I mean, from the top to the bottom. And we'll start off with the most important position. What's up, Tay Hill, Cedric Harris? Welcome to the Sauce. There's some new names. I don't know if y'all been through here, but if you have, welcome back. If you haven't, what's the motherfucking deal? Make sure y'all hit that like button too. Make sure man, we had a couple hundred in here last night. Y'all was acting like y'all was stuck, like y'all had arthritis in the fingers and shit. Couldn't hit that goddamn like button, but it's all good. Still got love for y'all. But like I said, we're going to talk about from the top to the bottom, and the most important thing you got to think about first is comparing the coaching. And I think this is kind of an easy situation to figure out. But not just the head coach, but you want to look at D coordinators. You want to look at who's calling your offense versus who's calling their defense, and vice versa. So, I mean, we're going to start off looking at, who holds the advantage in that. And like I say, we'll start in order. We'll go Hector, Tenny, Wise, and then Wink. And okay, like I say, looking at the Texans offense versus the Patriots defense, knowing that they lost, Patricia went to the Lions. And, I mean, so you got a little bit less experience in that position. A new guy calling the situation. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to get that saved. All right. And I just kind of want to know your thoughts. Like, I mean, who holds the upper hand in that situation? And we'll start off, like I say, with Hector, and then we'll go across the table.
I mean, we're talking about Bill Belichick here, and, I mean, he's one of the biggest masterminds in football, I guess you could say. I mean, if you want to compare him to Bill O'Brien as far as head coach, I think Bill Belichick is definitely one of the smarter coaches. And, I mean, he does more than just coaching. I mean, he also he gets to make the call. So he's pretty much like the general manager / head coach. But he also knows how to, give people responsibilities. Like he has an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator. Though he still could do it, but it just you can see where he knows where to imply, he knows his philosophy, and he found guys that will follow what he does. And ironically, most of them, once they go to another team, they don't really pan out anyways. So obviously, it's Bill Belichick that wins that battle. But I think Bill O'Brien hopefully could make some surprises and maybe finally make us feel that a little bit comfortable that he's our coach. But coach is Bill O'Brien. I mean, Bill Belichick.
So it comes down to the battle of the Bills. And we ain't talking dollar bills. We're talking about the old ass coaches. But like I say, so I mean, I definitely feel you on that point. It's Bill Belichick does have a way of turning one man's trash into his treasure, and then throwing it away, and the motherfuckers become trash again. And hey, I don't know if he got some kind of secret sauce over there in New England or what the fuck they got going. But Toxicity Tenny, man, what are your thoughts on the coaching comparison? The Texans coaches and the coaching staff in Houston compared to what they have shaking in New England.
Yeah. First and foremost, let me give a shout out to the one and only Baby Nuts, Balin Rios. He wants a shout out. I just wanted to give him a shout out real quick. Oh, Peach Fuzz. I'm also going to just point out the fact that pretty much Bill Belichick has got this over Bill O'Brien. I mean, Bill O'Brien, I don't think he's even got like a first place ribbon in a pie contest. So, I mean, between the two coachings, Belichick gets the edge because he's going to be more prepared for us, obviously, because he's had our fucking numbers since 2009. So I do got to put it out there. So don't think that, it comes down to the coaching exactly, because I think Bill O'Brien with this new offense, unless we just see some fucked up ass shit, just come out of his fucking playbook. I think he's a little prepared for this one. So I want to say this game in particular, Belichick gets him, but he's barely edging O'Brien out because I think O'Brien really wants to win against him.
Shout out to Ferocious. We will have a very interesting poll. That's a very interesting poll question. He says, who's got the freshest hat game tonight? I didn't even realize the entire round table was rocking the cap. So I'll pull that up on the poll here just shortly. So we will see who winning in that battle. Wise, man, I want to know your thoughts on the Texans versus Patriots coaching comparison. And does Bill Belichick wear Nikes or Under Armour?
You probably wear New Balance. But
he rocks that copper
Take
fit.
it easy on the New Balance, man. I got like 2 pairs sitting in the corner.
yeah.
Belichick's guy.
I mean, I rock Nike all day, so I'll never have a problem with Nike. So, or in Adidas too. So it doesn't even matter. But it's up to Bill O'Brien to step up to the game. This guy want to be a prodigy of Bill Belichick. So why not go out here and try to outsmart this man? When you're playing Bill Belichick, you're playing like chess. You got to make calculated risk. You got to make calculated steps ahead of this guy because this guy is so smart. With New England, they focus on special teams, and that's something the Texans have been focusing on this offseason. So, I mean, with New England, this game is going to come down to inches and those few yards that can change the game, especially with this defense. So I'm going to have to give Bill Belichick the coaching. I'm going to have to give him the head on coaching because Bill O'Brien, I mean, like I said yesterday, this guy don't want to take risk. We don't know what he's going to do yet. He did say he changed the offense. I'm going to give him the opportunity to show that this game. So hopefully he frees up Deshaun Watson and let Deshaun Watson do his thing. Deshaun Watson said he wants to be Tom Brady, so let the kid show why he's the best young quarterback in this league.
Definitely give a man a chance to shine. You know, hey, he's trying to get him 6 or 7, maybe 8 or 9. You know, he looking like LeBron whenever they was talking when he first went to Miami. Not 6, not 7. You know, Deshaun want them all, so let the man ball. Man, Wink, your thoughts on the comparison between Bill O'Brien, Bill Belichick, and the Battle of the Bills that's going to take place Sunday?
There is no comparison. I mean, I laid all that out in the thing yesterday, so there's even no need for me to reiterate because plenty of people had a problem with what I was saying. And, you know, if anything, I just want to address, like, anytime I say anything about this man, why do I always have to be a hater? Like, it's just criticism. That's it. I don't hate him. He don't have nothing I don't have. You know what I'm saying? He don't have nothing that I want. So to hate a man when all I got is love in my heart is asinine in itself. But we all know Bill Belichick is the greatest coach in football of all time. I mean, he's probably in the upper echelon of greatest coaches of all time. He at least has to be top 5 in that conversation now, regardless if it's college, NFL, NBA. It don't matter what it is, you know what I'm saying? But hopefully, you know, Bill O'Brien has a good enough game plan and he utilizes the guys he has at his disposal when it comes to height and speed, when it comes to just schematics and what the guys have on their defense. Because if he utilizes that, then he can outcoach Bill O'Brien for this particular, Bill Belichick for this particular game. I'm not worried about what Romeo Cornell is going to do because D-Boy is about to eat. It's about to be hunt season for real. And I'm waiting on Sunday just like everybody else.
I think it got a call and somebody might have left a voicemail, and on the Sauceline it sends the voicemail to text. I don't know what the hell it's saying. So if you called in, just text whatever you said. This shit is some random ass shit. I ain't even gonna try to read that. But we got a couple of texts in, and we'll read those. It says we have a team now. Bill O'Brien never had a team like this. I would agree. This is probably the most talented team that he's had under his belt, but it's still going to take him being able to utilize this team and utilize this talent to be able to put it all together, like and show that he can do that. I mean, there's a couple of new pieces, that are improved over last year, but again, okay, Cedric, appreciate you. Shout out to Cedric. Chandler texted in, showing love to the round table. Say shout out to the round table, Honcho, Wink, Tenny, Hector, Wise already. Like I say, but if you're calling in, the call, we're not going to take calls until like a little bit later, probably till about maybe 30, 40 minutes into the stream, and then we'll definitely get your thoughts. We are not going to stir sauce as long tonight as we did last night. Last night was a sauce-a-thon. But okay, so now, like I say, kind of getting down to the next level, like the next most important position on the field. And I think this is a tougher question because you have to look at a couple of things, and that is quarterback. Comparing quarterbacks. You're talking about a young up-and-comer in Deshaun Watson who is poised to take over the league, poised to be, the future of the league. And you're talking about a guy who's did it year in, year out, and is continuing to do it in his 40s and has his own method, eating avocado ice cream and, doing other suspect ass shit. But the TB12 method, we're talking about Tom Brady. So between Deshaun Watson and Tom Brady, you have a very interesting dynamic. We'll start with Wink and work our way back, man. Who do you think is the better quarterback in that comparison? And make sure y'all vote in the poll, man. I see you got a couple of votes. Make sure y'all vote in that poll before it's over, man. Who's got the freshest hat on the round table tonight? And Wink, your thoughts?
This is such an unfair question, but of course it's. I mean, I understand the context, but we're going to have to put in some years, and Deshaun Watson going to have to get some Super Bowls to be on the Tom Brady level. So I believe he's headed in that direction. I believe when it's all said and done, their names can either be side by side or one is going to trump the other. I do believe that. But as it stands right now, our defense has a lot of worries, when it comes to Tom Brady. It just depends on how long, if everything's well equipped and everybody's well prepared, I believe both quarterbacks can do more than enough to make sure that their respective defenses don't have to be on the field for the whole damn game. And if that's clicking, and if everybody's playing complimentary football for the Houston Texans, you can win the game easy.
Wise man, I'd like to know your thoughts, man. Again, I agree, Wink, man. It's a very difficult question, especially if you're trying to be, a legitimate football fan and keeping the bias out of it. I think it's a very tough question. But your thoughts, man. Who's the better quarterback? And we know the history, but who do you think is going to be the better quarterback on Sunday when they step on the field?
I mean, ever since this franchise existed, Tom Brady's been dominant in the NFL. So I'm not going to discredit this man because this guy has a lot of experience, like Wink said. This is a guy I've seen time after time lead their team down on 4-quarter drives. Did it to us last year and win the games. No matter look at last year in the AFC Championship against the Jaguars. He led that team back. Nobody thought he could do it. He's one of the oldest quarterbacks to still be this good. It's still like this man is in his prime, basically. And I'm not going to discredit this man. He knows how to elevate his offensive line. He knows how to elevate his receivers. He knows how to elevate his running backs. This is a guy that makes everybody better on his team. But that's the same thing I can say for Deshaun Watson. That's what he did for those 6 games last year. But this year I want to see him be more consistent, throw more touchdowns and things like that. But we can't discredit Deshaun Watson's pocket presence. Like when I seen that video earlier, it's kind of crazy that they worrying about this guy scrambling when this guy's a pocket passer, and this guy wants to throw the ball deep. This guy wants to throw underneath routes. He doesn't even think about running. Running is his last option. So that's only when the pocket breaks down. So I think Deshaun Watson can have a performance like last season, but this offensive line has to protect him.
Damn, Cavett, if that's true, that's fucked up. Said somebody burning Nike's house caught fire with his wife and kids. And ain't that a bitch? You wouldn't prove the point if you did some shit like that. Was it worth it? Tenny, your thoughts, man. Historically, when it comes to the future, and we talking about Sunday, who's going to be the better QB when they both step on the field between TB12 and DW4? I'd like to know your thoughts on that one.
Well, when they step on the field, it's going to be Tom Brady. But when they step off that field, it's going to be Deshaun Watson. I have a feeling that Deshaun and Bill O'Brien and our wide receivers have a plan to go into this game and attack. And that's how you win this game. You got to go in there and attack them. And I think that's going to be Deshaun Watson and Bill O'Brien. I think they've probably been working together for this shit for a long time. We knew who our quarterback was, so I'm more than certain the game planning for New England has started some weeks ago. And quite honestly, I would be surprised if it wasn't a fact. But I do want to say this, that Tom Brady has all the accolades in the world compared to Watson, but at the end of the day, I think Watson is the change of the guard.
Okay. So you feel that Watson will, well, Tom won't be passing the torch, but Watson will be taking the torch come Sunday to lead this league in the future. All right.
Surprised if he grabbed Giselle and just walked out that bitch too.
Well, goddamn, he's gonna take the torch and take the man wife. He's just taking Tom Brady's whole life. Give me the rings, give me the girl, you keep the kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking over from this point forward. Ain't that a bitch? Deshaun Watson, you a motherfucking dog. Hector, man, your thoughts on what's taking place between the quarterbacks on both of these teams, Deshaun Watson and Tom Brady. I mean, we know historically about Tom, and, it's been touched on. I mean, what do you think happens on Sunday? Who's going to be the better quarterback? Who's going to be the one that leads their team to victory on Sunday?
That's a hard one because, I mean, Tom Brady, in everybody's eyes, he's the GOAT. But he is going – I think the decline is going to be more noticeable this year of all years. And then they've said that this is like the worst team Tom Brady has ever had around him, which is a pretty bold statement. But, I mean, I guess if you look around like the teams that he has had compared to what he has this year – I mean, there is a lot of issues that this team has. Maybe not weapons-wise, but offensive line-wise, yeah, there's a lot of issues on this team. And I know someone brought up the wide receiver from the University of Miami, Braxton Berrios. He's actually questionable for that game, so I don't even know if he's going to be there. But so, and then when you talk about the quarterbacks, you got to look at their committee. What do they have for that game? Because if we're just talking about that game specifically, I would probably give the upper hand to Deshaun Watson, and mainly just because he has DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, Tom Brady can make, trash into gold with some of the receivers that he's had, but you just can't say any of those receivers are as good as DeAndre Hopkins.
I agree with you on that, and actually that segues perfectly into the next aspect of the conversation. And we're going to be talking about the wide receivers, and we're going to kind of make it's almost no point in comparison, but shit, we go compare them anyway, just to rub it in just a little bit, just to stick our thumb in their eye, just because they've been doing it so bad for so long. We want to look at every advantage that we have. Joshua said the patch coach said he's concerned about this O-line against this D-line. Do you think he's telling the truth? Bill Belichick's a smart guy, not just on the field, but he knows how to play the psychological game. And what he tries to do is, the Texans are coming to this, they're feeling a particular kind of way. If you've been, following them across social media, you see these guys are excited, Merciless excited, McKinney excited, Watt, everybody's excited. They're ready to go into Foxborough and really lay this smack down. But the thing about that also is when somebody pays you a compliment, even though you're in an angry state, you're in a mad state, but they try to compliment you and say good things about you, that tends to placate the way you feel. It tends to lower that level of anger and that intensity that you have. And if you notice, Bill Belichick does that a lot. He'll pick out one or two guys and he'll really compliment, he'll lay it on kind of thick. But I don't think that's just going to work this week. I think that this team is hungry and they're tired of all the shenanigans. They know what happened last year and the victory that should have been theirs, and they feel like the pieces are there. So I think that that's just him talking to the media. But like I said, now we're going to compare the receiving core, and it's almost like I say pointless, but we're going to talk about it because they have Chris Hogan. I know Edelman, he's taking horse steroids or whatever the fuck he out there doing, and they've lost Cooks who ended up kind of doing us bad last year. And, we get to that's another position. But like I say, so just kind of making some comparisons with what we have, and we're actually going into this game healthier than we were last year with pieces that we didn't have last year who were injured. What are your thoughts? I mean, what weapons does Brady really have as far as wide receivers, Hector? And then, as compared to Watson, I think we kind of know what we're working with. But, I mean, just your thoughts on that situation.
Well, I mean, like I've said, like Tom Brady does have this weird thing where, some of the trashiest wide receivers, he'll make them look like studs. And, Hogan is definitely one of the big examples of that because, this dude played lacrosse. And I don't know how football came to be, but, yeah, that happened. And Tom Brady made him look good. After he had he wasn't really good with the Buffalo Bills. And then he comes into the Patriots and then comes out to be someone like that you want to have in your fantasy team because he's going to get receptions, which is just ridiculous in any process. They do have Cordell Patterson. They do have someone with speed. Hasn't been really well known for being a good receiver, but like I said, Tom Brady has this weird thing of turning trash into gold. So, that could happen as well. But if we're going to talk about any of the targets that Tom Brady has, you're going to have to bring up Gronkowski, which has always been kind of one of the issues the Texans have had when it comes to this team, is that they have an issue trying to cover Gronk. And, a lot of the moves for this offseason was to find someone that can, or look at what we had that can cover Gronkowski. I think Dylan Cole and Cunningham could be very good options for that. And as well, we brought in Tyrann Mathieu kind of specifically for these kind of situations.
I see Keller boys say I can't make the joke about Jules. He would cook the Texans. The boy over there cooking steroids in the kitchens. He can get that deed already, poke himself in the ass with it. Tenny, man, your thoughts on the pass catchers for the Texans versus the pass catching crew for the Brady gang, and then, just kind of a rundown on your thoughts on that.
Shit, even with Jules, that's a bitch name for real. Like, Kellen Boys, step up, man. That's a bitch name. All right, so even with Jules, let's take the suspension away. Even with Jules on that fucking wide receiving core, our fucking core is hands down, man. They on another planet compared to the fucking what the Patriots got right now, and that's a fact. That ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We got more talent on our wide receiver core than they do. Because you take any single one of them bitches and put them on another team, and they're nobody. They're nobody. It's Hogan, the backup. It's Julian Edelman, the number 2. It's Patterson, the returner. Come on. Let's not play games here. We know what the fuck's going on. And the fact of the matter, too, that they're signing guys off waivers that probably aren't going to even get a chance to play. Like, seriously, you're picking up guys that haven't been in the playbook yet, and you got a week to teach them what to do. You might have one of those dudes play this weekend. You're not going to have both of them because it was 2 wide receivers that they picked up, right, and 2 offensive linemen. Yeah, so it's not gonna happen, dude. Like the Patriots really are running almost on an empty tank. They got about a quarter full. They got the light on, and they're trying to figure out what the fuck to do. And quite honestly, if you want to match talent to talent, apples to apples, oranges to oranges, Houston Texans wide receiver core, best in the league right now. Period. I will not take it back.
Said that, meant that, represent that, man. Wise, your thoughts on what the Patriots bring to the table versus what the Texans bring to the table as far as catching these hands? What are your thoughts on that?
If you start off with DeAndre Hopkins, you can take all of the receivers combined from the Patriots, and they don't add up to no DeAndre Hopkins. I think Will Fuller is better than all the receivers they have. I believe Bruce Ellington is better than all the receivers they have right now. Except for Julian Edelman, because Julian Edelman is out right now. So, a guy I really want to see this weekend is ckin, because we didn't really get to see much from him during the preseason. I want to see all the hype surrounding him. They were saying this guy was doing great in training camp. This guy was burning guys. This guy was going to beating Aaron Coleman and things like that. So our receiving core is pretty deep, and we can go from all different angles. Sammy Cobbs as well, he can be a threat. So I would say Sammy Cobbs is better than Cordell Patterson and Chris Hogan and, all of their receivers as well. When you look at their receivers, these are guys that, are the guys that nobody wanted. They're the rejects. Tom Brady can make some goal with them. Cordell Patterson was supposed to be a top receiver. He was a first-round pick. He wound up being a bust. He has a lot of speed, but he can't catch the ball. Another guy, and Chris Hogan, like they said, he was a lacrosse guy. I can't take these guys seriously. You got Honey Badger back there. They got Gronkowski. Gronkowski's going to have a big game, but he won't have as big of a game as he had against us in the past. We got Zach Cunningham. We got Dylan Cole that can keep up with him. We got Honey Badger, and we got Kareem Jackson. So you got to think about things like that, and I'm going to say the Texans have that edge.
Doesn't it feel so much better to talk about Kareem Jackson at safety than it does to talk about him at corner? When you talk about Kareem Jackson at corner, you just start feeling like a little just dark feeling. I'm like, Kareem Jackson. Yeah.
Now, but right now.
We don't even want to see that, nigga. But now when you talk about him at safety, oh, yeah, nigga, we got Kareem Jackson, motherfucker. But it's a whole different feel, man. Shout out to Wink, because Wink won the poll with the freshest hat, had 7 votes for the freshest hat.
Fuck you, Timmy. Fuck you.
I call recount.
Florida.
Yeah, that's pretty sad.
If the hat ain't white, it ain't right. If the hat ain't white, it ain't right.
Man, dude, that sucks for me, man. I actually collect baseball caps too. I got like 62 hats.
Tinny with the Josh Allen cap. We got to record.
Hey,
Florida votes.
McNair supports my hat. Okay, that's all I matter. Yeah, that's all that matters. I bet he does. with his cutout Nike pillowcase.
Yo, Stream, was it because of the fact that I was wearing a Astros cap and not a Texans cap today?
Yeah, boom, that's right here. Yeah. I mean, either way it go, I'm still gonna win.
Okay. But wait, man, your thoughts on
this is a player worn hat. Like this was I think, oh man, who was it? I think
Hector,
it was
you don't fucking count. Hector, you don't fucking count because you on the field with these dudes. You like walking up, stealing their shit.
Man, yeah, you go there breaking the lockers and shit. Hector got the lock picky in there. Got you. The clubhouse.
He's like, call hand reps from Altuve.
Yeah.
But I did get hand reps from Altuve.
That's the shit I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Hector the kind of cat that shows up on Pawn Stars with all this fucking sports memorabilia. He's like, yeah, this comes straight from the player.
Try to give Hector the benefit of the doubt. Like, I was just joking when I said this shit, and he really does this shit. Like, it's just like, come on, bro. Like, he's just in a winning situation, like, every day of the fucking week. Enough about Hector. Let's talk about these goddamn receivers.
Yeah. What you got
now?
The Texans versus the Pats. What you got?
Now, Gronkowski, seriously, name-wise, is really all we have to worry about. If we were still in a situation where Kareem Jackson was in the slot, I'd be more concerned with this team because it always seems like guys like that have gotten off against this football team. It's always these weird, you never heard of them type of dudes that just broke out over us, like over the past few years. Like, I can think of so many receivers that broke out against us. T.Y. Hilton broke out against us. After that, became a phenomenal talent. Adam Thielen broke out against us 2 years ago, week 5 in the Vikings game. We was like, who the fuck is this going against J.J. on these double moves? You know what I'm saying? Edelman, he abused this for years. I mean, it's been a certain type of wide receiver that they've had in their stable that they don't have right now has hurt us. And because they don't have this same type of combination, and thank God they got rid of Brandon Cooks when they did, because if he was on this team right now, okay, then the level of concern that I would have at this very moment would be much higher. I'm still concerned because until the game is over, I have to keep my reserve. I got to hold that shit in and celebrate like a motherfucker when it's over if we get the W. Because if Tom Brady finds a way to pull off and win this game in some crazy-ass fashion, I'm going to be upset. Everybody's going to hear about it. Yes, I'm going to blame Bill O'Brien. It's coming. I'm just telling you right now, so you don't have to look forward. They're going to be like, oh, God, here we go. He blaming it on Bill O'Brien again, and it just might actually be his fault once again. But because that's his history.
There goes Wink hating on Bill O'Brien.
You see, there you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Man, Wink, I don't think you understand what it's like to live through his eyes and his skin, so I'm tired of this.
No, I don't want to know. I don't want a chin bone like that. I'm sorry. I like the fact that my cleft is much smaller than that. But I cover that shit up.
That's that power chin. What you mean, man?
Yeah, I got
access
that
gene.
shit. My wife like that shit. I hate it. I don't like it. I don't have no deep ass cliff like that. Like you got that booty.
Man, what was that? What was that cartoon? Was that Fairly Odd Parents with the Crimson Chin?
With the Crimson Chin? Yeah.
Clef the Boy Chin Wonder.
Yeah, that boy. Oh, that boy had a chin on him.
All right,
yeah, but hands down. The only reason why they'll be able won't be able to scheme both DeAndre Hopkins and Will Fuller at the same time. Even Will Fuller in his rookie year was able to get down and get past their DBs, no problem. He didn't secure the catch, but I feel him being in those type of situations this year are definitely mountain because they definitely want to do everything they can to take away the better options. This is why I'm saying that Lamar Miller was going to be so pivotal to the game because he's going to be able to take away a lot of that space. Moving parts are going to be moving, and like guys are going to have to come down and try to play him in open space, and he's going to be able to make too much happen. You do this, you free up, DeAndre Hopkins as much as you can and get, potentially can get to buy some more time with Deshaun Watson making a big throw down the field. Gronkowski does not finish games against us. He may end up getting like 5 catches, 70 yards, and a touchdown, but he won't see the end of the game. He may get knocked out, may come back in, and he won't be nowhere near as effective, or we may completely shut him out, or he may end up getting a couple of things, and he has maybe a 10% chance to come out of this game alive and well, because it's something about the Texans. He does not fare well against us when it comes to the injuries.
So while we're still on this, we'll still stick with Wink, man. Let's talk about the protection that the Texans have compared to what the Pats have. Now, the Pats have lost a couple of starting guys, and so I know that's going to be an issue. And even if they had those starting guys, you talk about a rookie going against some veterans, some not just regular veterans, some of the better veterans in the league. We're returning a couple of guys on that defense who will be penetrating that line, if you will, coming for Tom Brady's head. And they're hungry. And I mean, they're real hungry because this is an opportunity that they, only gets once a year, it seems like, and they just haven't been able to quite seal the deal. Just looking at both teams, man, how do you feel like the lines compare as far as protecting their respective quarterbacks?
You could probably give our interior the edge with Nick Martin, Fulton, and Kellemetti. You could probably even say to give the tackle positions somewhat of a nod when it comes to Changsha Henderson because he has had some successes in Buffalo when he had, before he ended up getting Crohn's disease and all of that little shit. But I'd probably give us the bigger chance because they've had more devastating injuries and they've lost bigger options, to help account for the protection of Tom Brady. Tom Brady's going to figure it out because he knows his line ain't shit. So just imagine the passes are going to be a lot quicker. Looking dudes off is not really going to work. Do not trust Tom Brady's eyes at all. Don't look at his eyes. Look at where he's throwing. Look at his shoulders and look at where he's throwing the fucking ball. That's all that's going to matter. You do these things, you can key in on or take away who he really wants to utilize. Double Gronk when you need to. Have Cunningham and then have a safety on him, or something like that. I mean, take away Kevin Hogan on specific routes so that he can't kill you over the middle. You know what I'm saying? Kadaro Patterson, watch out for this sneaky motherfucker. If they got a fucking fullback in the game, account for him finally. I'm tired of fullbacks getting off on this football team, and they still able to get off on us in certain instances. So as long as the game planning right, they get everybody where they're supposed to be, our defensive line is going to eat through they fucking O-line. They don't stand a chance. It's too much strength up front. And they were actually talking about this on NFL Network, the strength and the push in the pocket that these dudes are going to end up having. That's going to be too much for their O-line. Plus, they're inexperienced, and these guys have way more talent, way more pass rush move, way more gap discipline. And then they're being coached by Romeo Cannell. They're food. They're comatose. But I'll appreciate them when they beat the shit out of the Jaguars week 2. So if you hear Clarence, y'all get smacked week 2 by the Patriots.
They will blitz all night.
You blitz all Now, if they cross the line, I'm taking every one of you out. They will remember the day they beat the Texans.
Man, so shout out to Joshua who said with the depth chart being released today, we talking about the line that they have Kendall Lamb backing up Changsha Henderson. So I'm hoping, praying. I don't know if y'all got them voodoo candles or whatever y'all be having, whatever you pray to, whatever entity, idol, whatever y'all worship. You know, just keep Henderson in your thoughts, keep his health in your prayers. You know, this week, because I do not want to see Kendall Lamb grace the field for any reason whatsoever. I don't even want to see him on the field stretching to warm up for the game, honestly. Like he could just stay on the bus, take a nap. But what? Man,
like,
I don't know. Again,
the fact he got a number is egregious.
He got them pictures of McNair or something. But Wise, man, your thoughts on this line versus compared to the Patriots line and you know the strengths and weaknesses as to protecting our passers or each passer significant passer.
I would have to say that, like Wink said, that our interior favors their interior offensive line. You got to look at a guy like Nick Martin that had some good film last season. Even though guys discredit this guy and say he's not one of the best centers, PFF says he's one of the worst centers in the NFL, which amazes me because when you watch the film, you see this guy's very physical. He's pushing guys off the line and opening up the run game. So I would like Nick Martin in this game. Also, Zack Fulton showed us in the preseason that he's going to be a solid free agent piece that we added on this offensive line. I really liked what I seen from Davenport this preseason. The guy's long. He got a nice kickback, no homo, because y'all in the chat, y'all be getting crazy about things like that. But this guy is built like a tackle. He has the range. He can have a nice step back to go against faster defensive ends and outside linebackers. Changsha Henderson, on the other hand, this guy is I mean, when you have an offensive line, it's about their build. It's about their build. You got to have kind of guys that's fast at the tackle position. Changsha, he got a lot of upper body strength. He's going to be able to hold guys together. But I want to see how this pass protection holds up because this has been a talk of the offseason. We've been talking about all the pieces we had. We have 4 new pieces in this offensive line that's starting. They have the same situation as like us. They lost a couple of other guys that we were going up after. You got to think about our front 7 going against their offense. You got Davion Clowney returning. You got Merciless returning. You got J.J. Watt returning. You can't block all of these guys, especially with the addition of Dylan Cole and Bernard McKinney and Zach Cunningham. This front 7 is lethal. Watch out for DJ Reader to clog up that middle and let guys get open on the outside. So I think our O-line favors their offensive line.
Also, I would agree with you on that. Talk to City Teddy, man. How do you feel comparing O-lines? Who will do a better job protecting their quarterback come Sunday afternoon?
I got some breaking news for y'all's asses. All right, so their left tackle has been missing practice for the last 2 practices. So I mean, it's pretty important to realize that compared to what we got going on here. And right now, it's looking like this patched together offensive line that we got going all season. And what they've shown us in the preseason, they're actually going to give us a shot at this. So I really do think that our offensive line is giving us the better play in this one, and especially with the bill that's being footed to both these teams. You got to look at the fact that the Patriots are being footed J.J. Watt, Whitney Merciless, Jadeveon Clowney, DJ Reader, Christian Covington, and so on and so forth with their backups. And, of course, Bernard McKinney's going to get in on some blitzes. I mean, he is not a cover guy. He is a fucking run stopper. So I believe Rack will use him as such. Then you look at their defense. Now, as I've given their defense the props, they can get some push and some rush going on us. They're not at the level of talent that our defensive line is. So when you look at it and you look at who's being billed for what, they have the harder task this weekend, and I think it's going to show. And I think in comparison, their O-line is going to make our O-line look really good.
catching some of the texts. Well, I'll answer some of those texts after we get Hector's thoughts on the O-line, and then I'll open up the sauce line for some calls, and we'll continue the conversation. But Hector, your thoughts on the O-lines and the jobs that they're going to do protecting the passers. Who do you see having a better overall game, the Texans offensive line unit or the Patriots patchwork piece of shit O-line unit?
I'm gonna give it to the Texans O-line, and mainly because of the fact that Deshaun Watson is their quarterback, and Tom Brady is obviously not very mobile. And this is like something I've said before. I mean, like, you gotta remember last year was an atrocious offensive line the Texans had, and somehow Deshaun Watson managed to have one of the highest scoring offenses in the NFL when he was there with that O-line that Savage had issues with, that TJ Yates had issues with, that Heineke was so scared that he decided to give himself concussion just to avoid it. So, and this offensive line that we have this year, I mean, it's not phenomenal, but it's pretty good. It's better than from last year. So, I mean, if that offensive line was able to be a number one scoring offense, I can only imagine what a slightly better offensive line can do when you have Deshaun Watson behind you.
And, the national takes are, that's the same old line that gave up the... No, it's not. Like, that's the shit that killed me again. A lot of lazy reporting coming out of the national media. So here's the deal. Sauce line is open. So we will take your calls. But now we're going to talk about the thing that intrigues me the most, the thing that I'm most excited to see. We're going to kind of lump it all in one big category. And that is our defense versus their defense. What our defense will be able to do versus what their defense will be able to do against, the guys that we have on our offense and the guys that they have on their defense. We've kind of talked significantly about how, they're lacking a lot of pieces. They have injuries. They have suspensions. We finally have health. We're finally coming into a season where all of our primary playmakers are available. I mean, the only guys that are on the injured reserve right now or PUP list, we have one, and that's Deontay Foreman. Outside of that, I mean, everything else is looking good. And I think that we're in a position with Foreman that we still have a couple of playmakers. I'm going to be interested to see how the Buddy Howe kid plays out because he looks pretty nice. But again, lack of experience and being here, I think it's going to take him a little bit to get to the playbook. But I just kind of want to know. We'll start with Hector. Your thoughts on our defense versus the pass defense. Which defense is going to make the most game-altering plays when it comes down to it on Sunday?
I mean, if the Patriots defense hasn't really been good for a good while now. I mean, yeah, they made it to the Super Bowl last year, but I mean, at the same time, their only real competition in the playoffs was the Jaguars, and then it took Brady to dissect the Jaguars to kind of win that game for them. And then just Blake Bortles being Blake Bortles. But I just don't see this defense they really not really gotten better. I mean, yeah, they have Hightower and their D-line looks pretty decent, but I mean, it's not like this defense is like scary or anything like that. And the Texans defense, we have that front seven. Yeah, we have some questions at corner, but I think, compared to if we had to have an overall grade, I mean the Texans right now could be like a B+ defense right now, and only because of the fact that the corners are not up to par as everybody else is, and then the Patriots might be hanging with a B- or something. So I would definitely put it on the Texans on defense.
Tenny, your thoughts on this Texan defense in comparison to the Patriots defense, and who's going to make the most game-changing plays come Sunday?
It's definitely going to be our defense that's going to make the most game-changing plays. I mean, if we want to win this, we really do need a really solid game out of them this year, just like we had last year. I mean, they were getting at Brady, so as long as they can repeat that, and quite honestly, in the last 2 games that we faced against the Patriots, we got after Brady's ass. I mean, we got in there, Mr. Postman, and it was like nothing nice that he had to deal with, especially with Clowney and Merciless on there, and even Covington was getting in on his ass while they're double teaming Watt and freeing up those guys. So I mean, I think our defense is going to edge them out. Now I will give them this: they have better cornerbacks than we do, but we also have better safeties. We have better linebackers. We have better front defensive line. So I mean, I think that outweighs them the most, and I really don't see the New England Patriots defense as a turnover defense.
We'll get back to that point there. Hold on 1 second. I ain't got the right ear gear. Do I have? Oh yeah, dude. What's the motherfucking deal? I'm ahead of the game this time. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in on the Sauceline this evening?
TJ, man.
What's the motherfucking deal? What kind of sauce you want to splash on the line tonight?
Man, just want to sprinkle a little season, man. It's week 1. It feels good. It's in the air, the ambiance, man. I just want to say that it's gonna get real ugly for New England this weekend, man. I'm a realist, but I think we're catching them at a vulnerable time right now. I mean, who is Brady gonna throw to, other than Gronkowski? And I mean, they're not going to be able to run the ball against us at all. And we got Deshaun Watson, who said himself that he's chasing the GOAT, and I'm pretty sure this kid is salivating right now to walk out on that field and just whatever Brady does, do it 10 times better, man.
Yeah. Man, I can agree, man. Look, I think he still has some unfinished business from last season that he feels like he didn't get a chance to be the man at the end of the game to put it away. You know, Brady got that last strike, and I don't think he got the opportunity that he wanted. So, man, I definitely agree with you on this one. But, man, I didn't catch quite the beginning of the call. Who was calling in again?
TJ from the northeast side, man.
Already, man. I appreciate you calling in, TJ, and spilling your sauce, man.
No problem.
Already. Shout out TJ from the northeast side holding it down. Now, my fault there, Teddy, but I definitely agree, man. I do think Deshaun Watson's probably been waiting on this game for a long time because he wants to beat the best. To be the best, you got to beat the best. So I could definitely agree with that. Now, my fault, Teddy. Now you had a point that you were making, and I'm gonna let you finish that up.
Yeah, pretty much, man. When it comes down to the fact is we got more talent on that end of the ball, and New England, I don't think they're going to create turnovers. So, I mean, quite honestly, I think it's going to be this defense. They're going to cause a fumble, or they're going to force a lot of bad yardage situations for the New England Patriots.
I got to interrupt you again. Hold on, the sauce line. Y'all gonna have it jumping tonight? What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling on the sauce line tonight? Hello. Okay, hung up. We called in. My fault there, Teddy. Now what you saying?
I really do think that we're going to force a lot of bad situations for New England, and like I said, it's going to be a slow burner at the beginning. I think we'll attack them a lot, but I mean, if we can come out swinging and putting points on them, I really do not see Tom Brady fighting that good fight and getting it back into this game. And our defense is just better. Our defense is better.
What's the motherfucking deal? Y'all don't want Teddy to talk, man. Y'all don't want to let him get a point. What's the motherfucking deal, VD Child? What kind of sauce you want to splash on the line tonight?
I just want to warn y'all, they're going to cut the game off at halftime because it's going to be so aggressive. Watt and Clowney are going to be doing nothing but masturbation. They're going to be eating that meat be TV4 or TV12.
They're gonna break him down in the third, man. He's gonna be by the 4. Look, here's the deal, man. Look, it's gonna be like high school. Remember back in high school, whenever one team would get too much of a lead and they put the short clock on, and even during the timeouts and everything, they just keep running the clock because they ain't want to. What do they call? I forgot what they called it. I remember we put it on a couple of schools before, but you know what I'm saying? They just when they feel bad for you, they just accelerate the clock, yeah, and they would just let it roll. That's what they're gonna have to do for the Pats when it's all said and done, because you know what I'm saying, DW4 gonna be out there slanging it, and the defense gonna be hungry. We got another call coming in. What's the motherfucking deal? Who got called in on the sauce line this evening?
What's up, man? This is man. I feel like we're gonna be a problem for a lot of teams this year. You know what I'm saying? Like Texas ain't never had a team like we have right now, and people so used to us losing that they don't want to give them their props. You know what I'm saying? That's all I really want to say. And like people ain't giving our props on the defense and nothing. So I just feel like this all year.
Already. That's a bet, man. I appreciate you calling in and said, but I could agree with that, man. I could agree with that. As a matter of
All
fact,
right.
I bet that. I got a question for the round table. Now we could say 11 or 12, and then I'm gonna let Wise and Wing get their spill on the defense. But we could say 11 or 12 is one of the more talented teams that the Texans had fielded, in as far as recent years. Do y'all feel like this team is comparable with those teams, or do you think we lack it just a little bit in that department?
One word answer: lacking.
Oh man, I kind of don't know where to go. I kind of don't know if I want to go to 16 defense, the 12 defense before we lost Cushing, or the 11 defense. We had D'Amico Ryans, Cushing, White, Antonio Smith was balling. He was like a 94 on Madden, like around that time. You know what I'm saying? Like Jonathan.
Who got called in on the sauce line?
What's the motherfucking deal, Honcho? This is Dylan Carroll calling in on the sauce line. And I was just wondering, so I know y'all have had a lot of questions about what y'all think our record will be. But my question was, if we go 9-7 and we make it to the Super Bowl, win or lose, would you still think that's an acceptable record since we made it to the Super Bowl?
Okay.
Unfortunately, it would have to be.
What kind of question?
That's a bit. Appreciate you calling in, Dylan. We got another call on the sauce line. We'll take that one, and we'll definitely get the answers on that. I think if you go to the bowl, you kind of got to take it. But I'd be looking less forward to the regular season because it definitely would have to probably be like the Giants had those couple of runs. Joshua, what kind of sauce you want to splash on the line tonight?
Hey man, I just want to say shout out to the round table also, and I want to just ask you a question that on the depth chart they have Kayvon Webster listed as the third corner, meaning that he's going to be covering the slot receivers. So I wanted y'all to talk about that, what y'all think about that, and also they have Tyler Ervin on kickoff and punt return starting. So I just want to hear y'all's thoughts on that as well.
Okay, that's a better man. I appreciate you calling in, Josh. We definitely will splash some sauce on that.
All right, man.
All right, cool. Here's the deal. Look, we're gonna pause the sauce line for just a second. We're gonna finish. We're gonna answer a couple of questions, and then we'll open it back up because look, y'all got to jump in tonight. Okay, that's what the point of the sauce line is. I didn't think y'all was gonna be active. Half the time y'all be stunned like y'all phone buttons don't work or something. You know what I'm saying? Like you having to use voice dial or some shit. Look, man. But I appreciate it.
We predicted this, Honcho. We knew this shit would happen when the season started. Now everybody want to fucking be bold and call it.
Yeah.
But a couple of weeks ago, y'all was acting fraud.
Look, Dustin dropped their collar down, but you know it's all love, man. We gonna give y'all a hard time. Look, Chandler the only one been consistently holding it down, man. Chandler ain't never been scared. But
Chandler been calling in, Josh been calling in, a few other people been calling in already. A few of them.
Ed Man on sporadic ass be calling in every now and then. He got out his little turtle shell and he need to start calling. But let's switch up that defense question, man.
we getting Balin's soft voice calling in sometimes.
Oh no.
Did that a little too good, Wink.
Oh no.
Wow. Your thoughts on this Texans defense compared to the Patriots defense? What defense is going to stand out on Sunday?
I think the Texans. I think.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the Texans defense is going to stand out. You got to look at this in experience. You got to see Romeo Crennel. We got to them last year. You got a healthy Jadeveon Clowney coming back. You got J.J. Watt coming back. You got Whitney Merciless coming back. And all of these guys are excited. They've been putting in all the work this offseason to get to this point. We've seen that J.J. Watt was dominant during training camp. We know that Clowney's going to be dominant this season. And I know that Whitney Merciless is going to be Whitney Merciless because Whitney Merciless is one of the most consistent outside linebackers in the game, even though he doesn't get as much credit. So I definitely think our front seven is better than their front seven. I believe their secondary favors our secondary, but I would like to point out that our safeties with Tyrann Mathieu. This is going to be a good game for Tyrann Mathieu because you got guys like Gronkowski saying in interviews today that he know that that they're going to try to test Tyrann Mathieu and that the ball's going to be in the air and he's going to go grab it. So I want to see him try Tyrann Mathieu and try to go get the ball over him, or we're gonna see a Honey Badger. We're gonna see Honey Badger back at LSU when he was in the Heisman running, because you can't test a guy like that, even if it's Tom Brady. That's arrogant, and it's gonna cost the Patriots. And I think Tyrann's gonna have a big day. I also think Clowney's gonna have a big day, and I also think that guys like Dylan Cole and Zach Cunningham is gonna have a big day. Our defense has too much speed. It has too much power, and then you got good rotational players like Carlos Watkins. You got rotational players like Duke Ejiofor. You got Justin Reed coming in. You got Aaron Colvin holding down the slot. Hopefully he can do his job, because that's what we struggled against the Patriots in the past. Tom Brady used to always attack Kareem Jackson. So we got a few changes, and we don't have Mike Vrabel. So I got to say our defense is the best defense right now.
Definitely co-sign with a lot of those things that you said. Wink, your thoughts, man, on this defense versus defense. I mean, who stands out to you on when you're talking about Patriots versus the Texans?
It's no one on a defense that scares me whatsoever. It's just the scheme. It's Bill Belichick scheming and knowing where to put these guys and where their strengths are. And that's exactly how he's going to end up trying to play them with, the pool of players that he has at his disposal right now. Now, it's going to be a lot of pressure. It's going to be pressure coming from everywhere. It's going to be expect some nickel blitzes. It's going to be a lot of zone blitz. It's going to be some man. It's going to be some man. It's going to be a decent amount of man that y'all don't see covering. You're going to be like, really? Like, I think they're going to end up probably getting away a lot from that cover two shit. They'll play it when they need to, but they won't. I can almost guarantee you it's going to be a lot of cover three being ran, because you're going to need a single high. You're going to need a single high safety to come over to make plays. They're going to end up probably playing a lot of cover one robber, you know what I'm saying, shit like that. We need those type of, things to throw Brady off, you know what I'm saying, to take away covers. And if you need to bracket a player, do what you have to do to make sure that they don't eat on you in this game. Their defenses are going to be able to negate really anything. They may give us some problems in terms of run defense, because we honestly don't know. I mean, yeah, we done seen some snippets of here and there, but we didn't see enough of the first team offense to see, how the run game is going to go fully. But if we go back to how they played in the Chiefs game, and if they're blocking like they were blocking when Lamar Miller was in the lineup on those first couple of runs that he broke out for, it's going to be a long day for the Patriots. And if I'm Bill O'Brien, I would run it down their fucking throats to gas those guys out, so where they switching dudes in and out, and then I would bust their ass right down the middle, with a play action pass. You know what I'm saying? Get them on corner routes. Get them on timing routes where it's going to be hard for the corners to really cover. Run you some out routes. You know what I'm saying? Do whatever you have to do to make sure that they're always at a disadvantage. You do that, you will win the game. It shouldn't be as hard as it's been made in the past. You have no excuses. You have a healthy team, and then you're playing the best team in the league week one while they're vulnerable. So take full advantage of the opportunity that you've been afforded to play the New England Patriots week one.
Definitely agree. And the caller also stated too, man. And absolutely, everything is leveraged in your favor. And there's actually something I want to say that because the comments you made earlier too, Wink, and I say I'd have to absolutely agree with you when you said that if we don't come out of this victorious, it is on Bill O'Brien, because every other thing is in your favor. In this game, you have the Patriots basically against the ropes. Of course, Bill Belichick has superior coaching, but I think there's too many other factors that come into play. Again, the injuries on the offensive line. I think the injuries and absence of, your better receivers, guys that are just now getting adjusted to this offense. It's early in the season when they're still trying to find that identity, how they're really going to operate and handle things. Right now, and we have the health in our favor. We have the talent in our favor. There's no excuse to not come out of this situation with a W. This is about as good as it's going to get for you. Here's the deal. Now, Kellum, you was talking about that. All right, go for it. What you got?
Hey, Kellum, take your fake ass news somewhere, bro, because Tyrann Mathieu has never played against Tom Brady. So Shitting all over your news.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I thought that was a queef.
No, we still trying to determine what Dr. Rabbit shit was. That
Either or.
We weren't sure if it was a fart or a queef. And anybody who happened to catch that late night mixer stream last night, hope that y'all are healthy after the shenanigans that Shaq Kush pulled. So we'll just leave that for the mixer crew. If y'all know what I'm talking about, y'all know what I'm talking about. I believe Ed Man knows, and I gave you power. I don't know if he in the mix, but he should know. But again, so we'll open the sauce line back up. But what we were saying though, Josh had called. He made some good points. He was saying that Webster, they got him listed as a third. I really can't give you anything on Webster because again, like I haven't seen what he had. He's coming off an Achilles injury. Again, I just think he's depth. Hopefully, I don't want to say hopefully he doesn't see the field because I don't know what he brings to the table. But like I say, if you're just looking at stats, and again, stats can paint whatever fucking narrative you want them to. But again, he's been less productive in his career, which is about twice as long as Kevin Johnson's, and been but Kevin Johnson done in half the time what he's done, and has actually had a more productive career. So you just kind of look at it like it is what it is. You got to just pick your poison on that one. And then you talk about Irvin is starting on punt and kickoff returns. I don't know what's going on with that, honestly. Like I didn't see anything outstanding as far as in the preseason game, but again, it's preseason. Maybe situational shit that they've run in practice that he's looked good. Maybe they're seeing something that that we as in the general public are not seeing, and I'm hoping that is the case. I'm hoping it is. Honestly, like I say, I don't have any beef with Irvin. I just think that from what I've seen with my own eyes, I thought that there were guys who had been more productive. But like I said, if he comes out and he can prove that he is that X Factor type guy, he is the dude who can kind of give you production from different areas of the field. Hey, and if he's contributing to the team, like I said, I have no beef with him. There's nothing that he's really done but get injured, and that's just kind of been the thing that he's always had these injuries and been out for the season. So I really don't have no beef with that. I hope that he can generate some yardage as a returner. I mean, that's all I got for that. I mean, so I really don't have a negative on him. I'm just kind of surprised that he made the cut because I thought there were guys who were more productive.
I'm not gonna lie, he can return. I'm not gonna act like he hasn't had returns called back because of holding or blocking in the back calls. Mm-hmm. It's not that he doesn't have the vision and he can't make the cuts and he can't actually get you some good field position. It's just that health and a lot of determining factors, and it's kind of the way we've used him. We just either haven't used him the way that he should be used in this uniform. He could very well be like a Darren Sproles type of player for this football team. He could be that type of ace in the hole for us, and that's what we pretty much looked at when he was drafted. He was just that type of player, but it's just like health, circumstances, and I know he has to have a breath of fresh air. This is his second chance of second chances right here. The fact that he was kept over Tremaine Pope speaks volumes. So if it's just like Ray said when Ray was on the show, he loves practice warriors. So if he's doing everything in practice that looks the right way when it comes to the special teams and shit like that, or they want to use him in various other ways besides special teams, because it's not like that's going to be his only. He's going to get some time at running back, but hopefully we don't see that often. But it's not like he doesn't have the talent to do so. It's just that, it hasn't been turned on for him. Maybe he feels defeated, but now all of that shit needs to go away because he actually made the 53-man roster. He ain't on practice squad. He not stashed away. He's on the roster day one, and he knows damn well dudes outplayed him. So it's up to him to showcase to the world that Tyler Irvin deserves to be in the National Football League, and the Houston Texans made a damn good decision when they kept him on this football team.
I agree with that. Yeah, I remember Irvin. They was doing all kind of janky shit with Irvin. They had him at a receiver, had him just all kind of shit they were doing. But again, that's why I say I agree. They wanted to kind of be like that Sproles factor. But again, like I say, your health is your wealth, and if you ain't healthy, you broke. Shit, you ain't got shit shaking. I mean, ain't really nothing you can do outside of that. And then like I said, the Honey Badger versus Brady thing also, Caleb, that I wanted to kind of add on to what Tenny said, man. Is what position was he playing? Because, when he was at Arizona, they had him doing all kind of shit, and that's something that he talked about, being a corner, being a safety, doing all kind of different shit. When you have to think, even if you're saying, even if you are talented enough to play all those positions, There are brief moments of thinking, recollecting, make sure you're doing the right thing. Little brief moments that say, but you said Jules cooked him with Jimmy G. I don't know. I think you might be biased in that. I have to see that for myself. I'll have to go back and do some research. But again, he's in a stable position. The Cards don't have a defense, or they wasn't fielding a defense like what this Texans team will be putting out this year. I think that we're gonna be all right. I'm not worried about it. Like I say, I think we're gonna be okay with the Badger, and I think he's gonna eat. I think we're gonna see the return of Matthew from LSU, because he seems to be happy. He seems to be in a position where he's thriving, and he seems to like everything else that's going on in the city of Houston right now. So, again, hopefully so. So, you know, but like I said, Sauceline is open. If y'all got a couple more calls, we'll maintain it for maybe another 2 or 3 minutes. If we don't get any more calls, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. But I mean, any specific thoughts? I mean, any specific points that y'all want to touch on in this game as far as matchups that we may not have had a chance to speak on, or maybe something that you guys want to throw out there that was just kind of on your mind that we have failed to mention so far?
I'll probably just elaborate a little bit on, you know, Jordan Akins really getting some shine along with Ryan Griffin in this game. I feel that the fact that Ryan Griffin knows on this field where he can and he can't take advantage of certain players on this football team is been very beneficial to him. So if they're doing everything to communicate and they get the route combinations right, he's gonna be able to find shit all day. So I'm willing to add that the tight ends in this game, especially Ryan Griffin from the standpoint that he's 6'7", his damn self, like 250. He's not a small guy, but it's just like he just doesn't use it.
What's the motherfucking deal, Chandler? What kind of sauce you want to splash on the line tonight?
On that, I got a question for the round table, and for this game, it's very important because if we want to beat the Patriots, we're gonna need to utilize Lamar Miller. Need to utilize the four receivers that we have: Kiki Kuti, Sammy Coates, DeAndre Hopkins, Will Fuller, and on defense, the Patriots. I think they're scared and afraid because they know their time is up, and I'm just saying that. Oh, and then also you guys are missing someone. You're missing Duke Ejiofor, and the Texans tight end position. Jordan Akins, Jordan Thomas, and Ryan Griffin are going to help us out. So I'm saying if we beat the Patriots, we have our chances this year. So that's my question to you guys. All right.
Already, man. Appreciate you calling in, Chandler, man. Definitely holding down the sauce line as always. Shout out to Chandler, man. I agree though. Yeah, and we saw Duke flashing in the preseason. Does Duke go off this game? Because that's something we really didn't talk about. Because we talked about how Watt has we mentioned it yesterday. But with all this talent, does Watt finally get to? I mean, is it finally time for him to get his hands on Brady? I mean, does everybody?
This is why I said if he does get a sack, it's going to be when Duke is in the lineup.
Hold on,
I honestly believe that. I honestly believe if it's.
What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in on the sauce line tonight?
Hey, this is Justo. I just want to say ooh and shout out to the drill, man.
Already, that's a bit. I appreciate that. That's a bit.
Interrupt me like that while I'm.
I just want to throw in there that I did say Duke in that last question I had.
Yeah, you did. Honestly, with Duke in the lineup, especially if they bring in a corner and they rush in 5 and they drop 6, Duke is going to be able to push the pocket and he's going to be able to come somewhere and J.J. Watt is going to be able to capitalize. Because I always look at it in that situation, they're gonna always game plan for him more than anybody else. They know Whitney Merciless and Jadeveon Clowney got speed and power in the bend and the pass rush moves as well, but they just so scared of JJ Watt that, like I said yesterday, it's not going to matter. As long as he can create pressures, he can get some TFLs, he can get some quarterback hits to soften Brady up or later on in the game. I think that's what's really going to matter. That physicality is what we're going to really need. If we get sacks, cool. If we don't, I'm not really tripping. Just make the plays.
Expect to see Duke like at the second half mark. So once he starts coming in, spelling Jadeveon a little bit more, expect that factor starts to kick in, because we haven't had a late game factor guy that can come in and substitute for either Merciless or Clowney and really get in there and be physical with an offensive lineman. And I think that's going to be the difference maker, like Wink is saying.
I don't know about him coming in the second half, though. I think he'll be in for like pass rush situations.
Yeah,
and that could be all throughout the game.
No, that's going to be all throughout the game, but it's going to be his effect won't start to take place until halfway through the game. In that second half, then you'll start to see his effect, because they're still going to game plan for Watt. And plus, in the first half, I don't see him getting as many reps as he'll get in the second half.
See, how I feel is I don't think the Patriots can game plan just against one guy like they did in the past against us. They used to key on J.J. Watt. They will key on the running back. They'll key on DeAndre Hopkins and try to shut him down. But we got a healthy team, and we got more versatile players. We got players with speed. You can't just key on one guy when our rotation is deep. I mean, you got Dylan Cole. You got Zach Cunningham. You got Bernard McKinney. You got Carlos Watkins. You got DJ Reader. You got Dookie Joke Ford. You got Justin Reed. You got Aaron. You got so many players that can do so many things and specialize in so many things that if you key on one person, that's going to leave. That's going to add more. That's going to be more of a burden to the Patriots, freeing up one of those guys to make a big play, which can cost them in the long run in the game.
Another thing is the combination of the play calls and the base defense that we run. Because we're going to be running all kind of nickel packages and just some exotic ass blitzes. I can only imagine, I don't even think he's even going to showcase everything against the Patriots. I think he's going to hold a little back, but he's going to do more than enough. I mean, you're going to see certain guys playing off, because if you see anybody playing off of anybody in this game, it's only because at the end of the day, man, they scared. They want to be able to see the shit, have it in front of them, play a lot of bump and run technique, because that's what the corners that we have excelled at over these few years, especially when it comes under Romeo Crennel. So I'm not sure exactly what Cove is going to be. Kevin Johnson playing in the game. If that's the case, because I didn't even look at the depth chart. I know that they released it, but if Jonathan Joseph, Colvin, and if Joseph, and Johnson are going to end up playing, I don't see how the hell Webster's even an option behind the slot, unless you were saying he's behind him. Then okay, yeah, then I understand. But
Colvin's behind Kevin Johnson. I saw the depth chart, so I think he's going to be playing inside.
Oh yeah, okay. They paid him too much money to not play this guy.
Yeah,
so
he has to play.
He got to start.
He has to play. If he has to, as long as he's not, and honestly, even with him, because I honestly believe Tom Brady will be able to pick on a guy like that. If Brian Hoyer can pick on him, he's done. He's pretty much in the same company as what Kareem Jackson would do, but he probably just has a little bit more speed, and he's younger at this point in time, and he has a little bit more length because he's a little taller. But outside of that, I don't think he has the ball skills that Kareem has. And well, that's evident. He only has an interception his whole career, one, singular. So ain't no plurals to that. So the Patriots really in a situation where they can't do nothing but play man. They can't. They really can't. I mean, yeah, they can run some man blitz. They can run some zone blitz here and there, but they really can't afford to be playing zone against us. Zone is going to get ate up by them. There's going to be too many guys that's going to get stretched out. And honestly, I don't think because their defensive line is going to be able to shoot the gaps properly to cause enough pressure, I don't see no way. And then they're not going to have a running game to compensate, so they pretty much going to be one-dimensional the whole fucking game unless they put in screens or they using like some jet sweep, something crazy that'll work here and there. But like they think they're going to be running on the edges in the middle, you forget about it.
Knocking pictures out the frame. I had to move the whole damn screen. If y'all just send me shot me y'all's email, man, go ahead and check your emails because I was going ahead and putting them in there because y'all know players fuck up. I'll be forgetting to send the emails sometimes. So if you just sent your email as far as for joining the second fantasy league, go ahead and check your email because I just sent those out. So make sure y'all go ahead and join and make sure you get that slot. Because if you don't, then I'll find somebody else to fill it tomorrow before the draft. Got another text in, and we go. This will be our last text, and then we'll wrap it up here. It says, do you see Sammy Coates possibly giving the Pats a problem when given the chance? I think this is something I would like to see. I'd like to see the ball get spread out because I think they're going to try to target Hopkins. Fuller, I mean, you're going to have to pick your poison. It's going to be a situation where you're going to have to pick your poison. I mean, offensively and defense, you're going to have to pick your poison because you can't double team everybody. And I think we got guys on both sides of the ball that you have to respect what they bring to the table. But I
think Sammy to just run 4 wides, bro.
I mean,
run 4 wide.
Yeah. I mean, what can you do to stop it, really, honestly? You know, I mean, so I mean, it's going to be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised to see some of that. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see B.O.B. implementing more of what Deshaun ran in college and just kind of letting him operate. So, again, y'all thoughts on that round table?
I would like to see Coates definitely in like a goal line situation. I think, especially with his height.
Yeah, man, I think Coates will definitely be a factor in this game because he's going to be able to take up a body. He's going to be able to take another cornerback off of either Will Fuller or Hopkins. Especially, I think the safety help is going to be called in for Fuller, and I think double cornerbacks are going to be called in for Hopkins.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you. I want to see the Texans spread the ball more out. Let each receiver get a lot of catches and a lot of touches because they're going to try to key on DeAndre Hopkins. And you can have Bruce Ellington getting underneath. You can have a guy like Kiki QT tearing up the middle of the slot. But Sammy Coates is a big receiver. He can go out there and grab balls. And what I've seen in the preseason and training camp, he was a guy that was good on the sidelines. And he made a lot of big-time sideline catches. So I would like to see him running a lot of out routes during this game.
Okay. All right,
I'm really looking at it now, and like when Chandler called in, and when he was just saying like 4 wide, like that makes all the sense in the world. There's so much we can do. You need to play a lot of 2-back sets. You need to play, you need to run the ball a lot. You make sure that you seal that edge off, man. And if Lamar Miller can get through finding McCreary and break off a couple of big runs, and he can even run some inside zone, from like shotgun or something like that. There's plenty of plays, some off tackle. You can play a lot of things. It's a lot of things you can do. You know what I'm saying, against this New England Patriots team while we have the chance to make those, those assessments. As long as the guys, because I'm pretty sure everybody's been prepping for them for the last like 2 weeks. That's probably why you haven't seen a lot, from the, the first team, really on the field because they already practicing things, which was made apparent by Bill O'Brien in one of his recent interviews. But it's going to be a great game. I can't wait to watch it. If they do take some of the suggestions, maybe they've already talked about it, maybe they haven't, but we'll see where their mind is and where their game plan it is, and can they exploit, inferior talent. Because if you can't even exploit inferior talent, and we all know that the talent on their defense and on their offense right now is inferior, and to lose to the Patriots, to know that you in that situation and you lose, what does that really say about the Houston Texans and the way they constructed?
Okay. We got a couple of other little tips. We'll take these real quick. We'll just kind of make it a little lightning round, quick answers on these, and then we'll wrap it up after that. And this one here says, if Rashad Breeland is still available, does the round table see the Texans bringing him in during the season, especially with K-Joe being shaky? I think if they were going to do that, they'd have done it already. But y'all's thoughts on that one?
You nailed it.
Yeah, pretty much what you said.
Everything you just said, bro. No need to speculate.
Okay. And Brother, shout out to Brother.
Braylon.
What'd he do?
Who want a chicken burger?
Oh shit,
God,
man! Fix me one, bro.
Man, look.
Put some hot sauce, man. Send me some Tabasco sauce to go with that bitch. I'm gonna dunk that hoe all over.
You mean a chicken sandwich?
Yes, I would like a chicken sandwich. The old burger boy now. Look, you got the ground chicken claws, so that changed the game. You know what I'm saying? So I can respect that. And Roger Brooks says, man, is this the game that B.O.B. lets the secret weapon Kiki out the cell?
He better.
I mean, it would be in his best interest.
If healthy. If healthy, yes.
Yeah, because he's not even cleared to play the game just yet.
Okay.
So we'll see. If he plays, cool. But if not, Bruce Ellington can take up his slack, no problem.
Yep, no problem.
Okay. My thing is, shit. If he's good to go, but if you don't need to deploy him yet, look, keep that weapon secret. If he's really doing what they say he's doing, look, if the Pats are a team that we can win over without needing to utilize every aspect of the book, then shit, keep a few things in your playbook until they necessary. Unless you just want to mash the gas on them boys and say fuck them, shit, and put a mud hole in them. Look, for all these years y'all done as bad as for last year. Just for Corey Moore dropping a goddamn interception, all that other good shit. So the Pimp C says Webster was the only odd man out of the no-fly zone. It was replaced with Talib and Peters. He's actually better than Johnson, bigger than K. Jackson Colvin. He's nice. He could really blossom a rack. And that's the thing. That's the factor you have to look at. Who was their coordinator? Who were they playing under? And a guy like Rack has a way of, like the same shit we said with Belichick. How he can find a way to put people in the right place and utilize their skill set. We have that same factor with Romeo Cornell returning. So thank God for having Romeo Cornell back, and we're not going through another year of Mike Vrabel. Man, yeah, and I'm glad you said that. Glad you said that, Eduardo Garcia. Man, I got to take back all the love that I had for Treston Decoud, because he's a Cowboy now and happy about it. So fuck the Cowboys, fuck all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, talking about the Cowboys, Tony Romo going to be calling the game. So we're going to have to listen to him for 3 hours.
Man, ain't that a bitch? If it wasn't already bad enough.
What you talking about when we played him?
Yeah, him and Jim Nantz.
Wait, he's on NBC now?
CBS.
That's awful.
That tweeted it earlier.
That's funny. Will Bob McNair allow the Texans to wear Nike cleats in the game?
Absolutely. Shit, they endorsed by him. You can't do nothing about that.
That bitch ain't got no choice. He's signed the dotted line.
He gonna be like, put some tape over that goddamn jersey.
Before you, and if anybody in the chat, if you're thinking about burning your Nikes, you give it to a homeless person on the street. Don't burn the shit. Give it away to somebody else if you feel that way.
Fuck that shit. I'm barely getting by. Give it to me.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying, man. Look, yeah, they already got your money, so it ain't like you.
Yeah,
it ain't like
I
was
about to say, man, like, you already spent money, and I'm sure you got it like straight out when it came out, so you probably paid a lot more than you really thought about, and you're gonna burn it.
They're just like the motherfuckers who hated the NWA album. They bought it just to fucking throw it in the street. Bitch, you paid for it already. You already helped me. You helped me go gold to platinum. Thanks.
Yeah, the best code easy. The best code easy. Shoot, they pay for it. They can do whatever they want with it.
Do whatever you want with some shit. Exactly.
Yeah, that is what it is. But man, everyone's got something to say, y'all, before we get up out of here.
Another good show, man.
Yeah, just shout out to everybody, man. Time's valuable. And Astros are up 4-1 against Minnesota, so looking good for them. Magic
How many
number.
more games they got left?
They got till the end of the month. But magic number right now for the Astros, last time I checked, was 23.
Oh, they gonna touch like 90 games like they did again last year? You think so?
They'll hit 90. I don't know about 100, but they'll hit 90. For some reason, apparently they're great at the U.S. Open Cup, but they play like shit in the MLS, so. Nah, I mean, I still love the team. At the point that they are right now, I wouldn't be against them experimenting with the formations, testing out who they like, maybe look on to who they might want to cut off next season, who they might want to start bringing in. So, I mean, I'm not going to say that next year's a rebuild, because technically last year was supposed to be a rebuild for the Dynamo, and they made it to the Western Conference Finals. So, I think they just need to reassess what they're doing and either bring the right personnel to what you want to do or realize that your personnel doesn't match with what you want to do. But, I mean, for right now, I think the U.S. Open Cup is definitely the best shot for them to win a trophy. So I definitely want them to go really put everything in on that one.
Okay. Now, man, I was thinking about something, man. Now, normally I don't get into the politics and shit because I really don't be giving too much of a shit. But I was thinking about this, man. You know, I don't know if some of you guys put your sports fandom over your politics or how you see it. You know, more importantly, I don't know about voting for Ted Cruz, man, because last time Ted Cruz came through with his bullshit ass at that Rockets game, you know, we saw what happened. So I'm not saying vote for old buddy, but I'm not telling you to vote for Ted Cruz either. If you love your Rockets, you know, I'm just talking shit, man. Y'all do what the fuck y'all want to do. It ain't my job to tell you that. I'm just talking shit. But any rest of y'all got something to say, man?
Yeah, man, just another good show, man. Appreciate y'all having us on as usual. Make sure you guys stay tuned in. We'll be dropping individual videos throughout the week, so y'all make sure y'all take part in that. And we're gonna whoop that ass on Sunday.
Already.
Shout out to the chat, baby. It's always for you guys. You always make it happen.
Yeah, me and Tinny already dropped our videos for the game. So.
Look, I've been working on the graphic. Like I told y'all, know your Texans will be coming soon. Expect them hoes to be dropping like hotcakes real soon. The 16-0 will happen before the game, so trust me, all that shit coming soon. I'm just trying to make it look much better than last year. So just expect all that coming this week before the Patriots game. So it will definitely be there. I don't care if y'all want the 16-0 or not. It's happening. But man, like I say, yeah, man, appreciate each and every one of y'all, man. So. It is what it is. So, I mean, just shout out to the round table, man, for holding it down. Still for holding it down for that marathon sauce last night. I can't get over that. Just shout out to everybody who's been fucking with the flavor. Some of y'all who are new to it. Some of y'all been true to it. Some of y'all been fucking with it with the on season, off season, in season, out of season. You know what I'm saying? Tony Chasserie season, whatever season. You slap your mama, all that other good shit.
Shakira.
But like I say, man, hey, y'all the freshest motherfucking ingredients in the world, man. Like, and this is, like I say, this is something for y'all to speak y'all spill y'all sauce, man. Because again, we ain't gonna censor you, we ain't gonna edit you. We might talk a little shit to your ass, but you know it's all love, man. It's like I say, we appreciate the fact that y'all support what we got going on over here, man. And like I say, tell a friend, tell a family member, tell somebody that you know that fucks with H-Town sports, man. Because like I say, we trying to grow this thing into something major. We're trying to take it to the next level. And again, I'm not worried about the rest of the other platforms and what they do, because we're going to bring something different to the table. Like I say, y'all stick with it. Trust me. Just trust me. Got a lot more to come. And like I say, as we get close to game day, it's only going to get better. And make sure y'all go and check out everybody's channel, man. The link's in the description below, so no excuses. All through the chat, the links pop up. Their social medias pop up, so you can't be like, oh, what's such and such Twitter? What's such and such channel? I mean, all that information there, all you got to do is read. I know some of y'all don't read good. You know what I'm saying? But all you got to do is click the goddamn link. With that being said, man, we'll be back at it tomorrow at 7. Chris Den at 10. I'll give y'all Den tonight. It wasn't happening yesterday. Y'all was out your mind. But like I said, nothing but love, man. So, why did you get to say something? Did I miss you out? Because I thought, did I skip you? I'm sitting there thinking about, did I not give you a chance to spill your sauce?
Yeah. Nah, fuck everybody. I'm just playing.
It'd be like
shout out
to
Yeah, shout out to everybody in the stream. I seen we got up into 90. Y'all make sure y'all like the stream. Make sure y'all tune in to everybody. I want to thank y'all for y'all support. Thank y'all for keep tuning in. We coming with the sauce. We coming with the heat this Sunday. Be tuned. An hour before the game, we got the pregame show, or I believe it's an hour and a half, right?
I'm thinking about stretching it to an hour and a half. I will know for sure about fucking Friday. We'll know for sure, but at least an hour before the game. But maybe an hour and a half, because it might be a lot of sauce to splash.
Okay, cool. I don't know if y'all been to one of the pregame shows and post-game shows, but when we used to do it with the Rockets, it used to be lit, especially after a big win. So if the Texans go and take care of business, y'all going to be in here, D. We need 400, 500 people in this mug, D. Y'all tell your mama, your sister, your auntie, your cousin, your brother, your African, your baby daddy, your Everybody, tell everybody.
Jesus Christ.
Let everybody know.
Look at my African American. look at my African American.
That sounds like some shit fucking McNair be saying.
Oh my god, you know he on that.
Yeah, I already know.
That's what he has Rick Smith for. That's his African American.
Look, I ain't saying nothing else negative about Rick Smith. That boy in the Shaolin Temple. That boy been training. He probably swinging swords and shit. That boy done found inner peace. He looking like
put his way back into the GM spot.
He over there looking like the legend continues and shit. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker there, he done found inner peace. You know what I'm saying? All that other good shit and dug deep into
Bruce Leroy.
I ain't fucking with him. I see him in the streets. I'm gonna step to the other side of the street. That motherfucker kick your soul out your chest and shit now. But man, we fuck with y'all.
Also to add on the post game, there's a high chance if the Texans do win, a lot of us probably gonna be a little tipsy. So.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Oh man.
It happens.
I swear I'm gonna be right.
I don't condone any of this sober life, #sober Texas. You know, I don't condone the doing of negative, poisonous, toxic influences into your system. That's just not the way to go, fellas. Shout out to McGruff.
It's just beer.
Shout out to Dare, keep kids off drugs. You know, they've been fighting for these streets. No, fuck all that shit. But
McGriff, like, why
they did such a great job too.
Like side note, like, why the fuck was McGruff or whatever the fucking dog name was that was part of the Dead Chrome, why the fuck was he naked under a trench coat? Like, that's kind of weird, bro.
Scruff had nothing to do with Dare.
Hey, in all honesty,
Dare had
man,
that weird lion thing.
Dare is the first lie we ever told as people.
I didn't even take Dare.
You remember the pledge? Remember that pledge that we did?
Oh my god.
So like, I blame public education because the year like we supposed to take 5th grade. The year I was in 5th grade, they couldn't even afford. They ain't even had the shit set up. So I was like, fuck, I ain't getting no Dare education. I ain't know no better. It's y'all fault. I was experimenting with that shit. Fuck y'all. But
you did your own version of Dare.
Dare you do these drugs.
They asked us to write that letter, and you're sitting there writing that letter like, do I really want to promise not to take drugs? What if I want to take one? What if it comes across?
Talking about letters, damn! I ever had to write letters and shit. I'm glad I ain't take that shit. Fuck that shit. Well, that's a bet, man. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Sauce Nation, freshest motherfucking ingredients in the world, man. We're gonna chug up a deuce. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool, but most of all, y'all stay saucy, and we out.